Hello everyone. Today's subject is desires. It's nothing personal. It's an exploration on desire from a deeper point of view. And actually this is a channeling from about 2004. So wherever it says me, it is universal consciousness referring to itself. Me is not Divyaa, but the universal consciousness that was speaking through me in that channeling. I must say it's a long piece and I really thought about it, but I am somehow propelled to share it with you in its entirety because it was so beautifully expressed and it somehow stayed with me through the years. I am tempted to edit it, especially because I am told that the attention span on YouTube videos is short. But I am going to go with the whole piece. Perhaps you can hear it in pieces. In synopsis, of course, this entire piece can be summed up in one word: non-doership. The awareness that everything happens through a you rather than by a you. The awareness that everything, and I mean everything, is only an aspect of the one divine expression in its cosmic exploration or play. Now, non-doership is one word, but it takes years of spiritual ripening for this to really become our reality, for this dissolution of our personal ego notion. And the reason I'm sharing this is because this channeling sort of laid the foundation for me. And even more interestingly, it did so through the subject of desire. Because at that time, I was really grappling with how my personal desires fit in with this spiritual journey that I was suddenly undergoing. And grace it is that the channeling went into great detail as though to personally explain to me how the much spoken goal, the spiritual goal about being desireless is not a state without desire, but a state where we surrender our desire and the journey that the desire takes us on and its outcome to the divine will in which it originates. Of course, it took years for this to become real for me, and I hope that this channeling introduces you or clears up any doubts you may have on the subject of desire and desirelessness, indeed on the paradox of how free will and divine will coexist. So I am going to start the channeling now, and I would urge you to perhaps close your eyes. Dearest beloveds, hear these words deep within you. Listen to their essence unfold wordlessly within. As a message from me, universal consciousness, to you, personalized consciousness. In every moment that you yearn to be one with me, in every moment that you long to merge with me, I too long for that portion of self that you call you. How do I convey to you, for your words do not permit, that your longing, which you view as your desire, is inextricably one with my divine impetus to be? Your longing, your desires are indeed seeded by my divine will. Therefore, beloveds, what you view as your desire for me or whatever else is its current focus, is my universe's very life force and vitality. allowing all that is me to infinitely be. So do not consider even for a moment that it is only you who desires. How can that be? If you have understood that we are one, then understand, beloveds, our quest is one too, eternally and moment to moment. Can your water be without its wetness? Can your sunlight be without its warmth? Likewise, beloveds, likewise, we are one. We are one. And not only in some abstract sense or in some distant realm out there, but in the reality of your very here and now, in your desires, in your longing, through every heartbeat and every freshly drawn breath that seeks to be. It is I who wills, I who desires, I who explores and experiences through thee. So do not allow your desires to confuse you and confound you, because what you look at with such suspicion and distrust are in the larger picture only an expression of this, of my divine will to be. And every life, beloveds, every life is a unique expression of this one divine expression. And every desire, beloveds, every desire is subservient to the purpose of creation itself. Reflect on my masterpiece, my divine will contained in your desires, fulfilling ours. We repeat, my will and yours, my divine will contained in your desires, fulfilling ours. Both one and the same, and yet to you, seemingly different, seemingly independent. And in this understanding, may you straddle the paradox, how your individuality and its free will, and what the masters and sacred texts refer to as only divine will existing, can both coexist. Come now, all of you are spiritual adults. Seek to go beyond the obvious explanations. It is not so much a question of, is there free will or not? Must desire be fulfilled or must desire be transcended? Beloveds, truth is not to be found in these yes and no answers. So of course, there is, in your terms, freedom of will. But its deeper implication is in its tango or waltz with my divine will, whereby your free will and my larger divine will, of which it is but an expression, align and dance in perfect harmony. Take a pause, reflect. Perhaps come back to this later if you so choose, to further listen to our story of desire, the master plan of divine intelligence that pervades all desire. Now, most of you are aware that in what you call the beginning, and we use the word beginning because we need to speak in linear terms. So most of you are aware that in what you call the beginning, the one I, chooses to experience, or more accurately be, all that I am, all that is, my every potential, every nuance, every possibility, and infinite probabilities that your minds cannot even conjure. And towards this self-exploration, I willfully choose to individuate into innumerable focuses. And each individual focus of mine is what you call or you consider yourself. Therefore, what you explore, express, experience is actually me exploring, expressing, and experiencing an aspect of the whole for the whole through a seeming you. Of course, once I individuate as you, in your terms, you are born. And you forget your source and all of this, as indeed the human game demands. Therefore, this awareness, therefore this unique purpose to be that I have chosen to explore through a you is kept intact within you, encoded into your energy fields, your DNA, in ways far beyond what you can imagine. We repeat and hear this well. Your desires are your encodements to your soul purposes in every life. It is encoded into your blueprint of what you call destiny and what plays up in life as your free will desires. So that when you don the veils, you will remember what part of me you have chosen to express, experience, expand, disempower, contribute to, and be through your desires. So do you see how both your will and my will, your desires and divine desire are actually one and the same? How beautifully done, yes? Therefore, when you feel within you a desire, it is only your blueprint kicking in, my dears. It is me, the divine, seeking expression through your current focus. Your desires are indeed your triggers, planned to activate at different times as different desires. Otherwise, what would propel you to explore what I choose to through you? How would you recall and activate the role you have chosen to play for me once the veils came on? Your desires, beloveds, are indeed reminders for your myriad soul plans and soul purposes, and the role you will be playing for me in different times of what you call your life. And therefore, beloveds, do desires play such a vital role in my cosmic scheme? It is only by exploring your desires that you may, in your terms, grow or evolve. After all, they are what I have chosen to experience, explore, expand, disempower, contribute through you. They reflect your cosmic purpose. Desires can help you fulfill your purpose to be in two ways. One, as you usually do, by desiring, and the journey that the desire takes you through the outer life experiences that these desires bring forth. Or secondly, sometimes by going within and understanding their purpose. And in that awareness, the work is done and you don't need to explore the desire externally and you transcend the desire. Either way, you cannot suppress, shun, or ignore them. Because as you explore, fulfill, or transcend desire after desire after desire, as you play your role for me, universal consciousness, I desire higher and finer aspects of myself through you. And you expand back to being me, the creator, who just wills to be all that is, all that I am. What you call going beyond desire. And yes, we know some of you are going to ask, what about those negative desires? And we use the word negative only because you do, because in the larger sense, there is no good or evil. Therefore, understand, beloveds, that even what you call negative desires have a purpose. But no, it does not mean you just go out and harm the other because you so desire. It does not mean indulging in a negative desire just because we have said it's part of your larger plan. No, beloveds, it means, and listen carefully, it means becoming aware of the limiting feelings and thoughts and beliefs and impressions that give rise to what you call negative desires. That is why the so-called negative desires are there, to work that out for human consciousness through a you. This is why limiting, challenging desires are sometimes a part of your plan, your blueprint. This is the purpose behind them. To become aware of the fears, the subconscious conditioning, the sanskars. And in that, to expand and remove them for self and human consciousness as per my divine plan. Once again, this can be done in two ways. One, of course, as one usually does, by pursuing the challenging desire and in learning from the external aftermath, what you may call problems and crises. Or through the more expanded way, by viewing within you through self-inquiry what limitations, what sanskars, what fears are giving rise to these negative desires, and by working on it within. Therefore, not taking the desire out further, not needing to experience it or its effect on the outside. Either way, beloveds, do not shun your desires, understand them instead. And in this awareness, use your positive desires optimally and productively as a cosmic memory, asking you to experience, explore, and expand an aspect for me, for spirit. And use your negative desires as a soul memory, hinting to you that some inner resolution is required. In conclusion, beloveds, desire is its own mover. It holds the seeker to the sought, the mover to the movement, the beginning to the end. How do you think my universe functions? Desire sprouts on its own accord and its own time when it's required. Because indeed it is the voice we have placed within you to remind you of what you have chosen in that moment to explore, experience, expand, eliminate, disempower, contribute for us. Therefore, beloveds, view your desires in these terms instead of grappling with them. What are they conveying to you from beyond the veil? What cosmic energies are waiting to be acknowledged? What soul memories are hinting at resolution instead? Greetings from universal consciousness. I hope you enjoyed the channeling. I realize it's long. Perhaps you could hear it in parts. Let me give you a little synopsis. When I began my spiritual journey, when this channeling happened, I was really grappling with this. How do I, a lay woman on a spiritual journey, become desireless like all the books and masters are telling me? And this channeling unveiled for me the secrets of that desirelessness. That desirelessness is not really a state without desires, but a subtle shift from personal desires to impersonal universal desire, what we may even call the will of God, to abiding in this awareness that my seeming desires are what God or consciousness desires through me. In fact, not wanting to desire is a desire. And by, we abide in the space that whatever I currently desire is what consciousness is desiring through me. And when consciousness does not need me to hold its desires, will my desires abate? Till then, till I am desiring, I am needed as part of the cosmic play. Let me surrender to that. In this, there is automatic distancing from the results of our desires. Indeed, our participation becomes an all-engaging service, a seva, as we realize that we are only a tool towards exploring, experiencing, fulfilling, expanding, disempowering, contributing, whatever consciousness chooses as part of its cosmic play. Love and blessings, Divyaa.